Fun fact, farmers can't turn left because they're so used to having their necks cranked backwards like this. Trying to get their neck to turn left. Not good. Sunshine and smiles.
Alright, so we're out here planting potatoes in Pennsylvania, which is a weird place to be growing potatoes. Yeah, we've been stopped for like 3 weeks. We just got going again yesterday. We were rained out for like 3 straight weeks. So we're planting organic potatoes. I can just show you a little bit how the planter works and what we're doing. We use a track tractor, so it's got rubber tracks, and that reduces compaction because you have more surface area than you would with tires, so you don't pack the ground down as much. And that's really critical for us here in Pennsylvania, mainly because it's so wet all the time. We have such a short window to get our crop in. Most years we figure on having 10 good days during the prime season that we'll be able to plant. This year, that prime season's already passed. We're really kind of late, and we've only had 4 days that it was possible to plant. And so when we do get a chance to plant, we go really hard. We spent a lot of hours at it. My brother was here at 3 a.m. last night. I started at 5:30. I got here. When you don't know what to do, you just keep unplugging stuff and plugging your back in. I am the first shift. I got here a little late because it was raining when I woke up this morning. It's actually not very wet, so looks like we'll be able to keep rolling. And then there's more rain in the forecast right now, so we really have another 3-day window right now that we can get anything done. The track tractor helps a lot with that because we can go in wetter conditions and not pack the ground down when it's still wet underneath in the subsoil. We've got some tanks on there, and so for the organic potatoes, we use basically just like a biological inoculant. It's just beneficial bacteria and fungi that are supposed to help break down organic material and release nutrients, but and then also give some kind of fight off the bad bacteria and fungi that are pathogens on our crops. That's the tractor. It's got auto steer, so the tractor steers itself. It's RTK guidance, which means real-time kinematics, and that's essentially just really high accuracy GPS. It's supposed to be sub-inch accuracy off of your line. In reality, it's not quite that accurate. And then this thing has a controller on it that has steering for the planter also. There's a globe up on top of the planter. Spilled a little bit. And so the planter steers itself too. Because, again, we're not in a normal potato growing area. We have hills and valleys. We need guidance on both the tractor and the planter so that our lines are pretty accurate, because we come back in and use those same GPS lines to go do other operations like hilling, like spraying, like cultivating, flaming, all of that stuff. So we need our lines to be pretty accurate. Steering on the planter, steering on the tractor helps us be really accurate. Back to the planter. Pretty simple, really. It's hydraulically driven, so the tractor has a hydraulic pump, and that turns all the mechanics of the planter. So really how it knows how to plant the right amount of seed is based just off a sensor. It's actually on the back, but just a sensor that, how fast the wheels are turning is how fast the planter plants. And I can change the seed spacing and quite a few other settings in the cab from the tractor. And right now we're planting really wide. We're at like 15 inches. 15 inches within the row. We could probably line them. They're supposed to be about 15 inches. And that's a lot wider than typically is used in conventional potatoes. That's because they're organic, so they're not going to yield quite as much. And we want them to be really big so we can make nice French fries. So we're spacing them really wide apart. And cutting the seed pretty big, which I'll show you. So these aren't really a French fry variety, but they make good fries. Let's see, they're yellow flesh. And they're not quite as long of a variety as we would like, but we're still figuring out varieties, and they make really good fries, and they grow well here in Pennsylvania. So that's the important stuff. But yeah, so this is pretty big. This seed is cut pretty big. Like that's a really big seed piece. Ideally, we want about 2.5 ounces for this stuff we're doing on average for the seed. This is a lot bigger than that. But you know, with our cutter on rounds, sometimes this is as good as you can get. That's about perfect as far as size. That's probably 2.7 ounces. And we probably cut these 4 weeks ago. Like I said, we got rained out, so then they just kind of sat. And really, you want them to sit for some amount of time. So if you take one of these whole potatoes and you cut it, the skin is a protective barrier that keeps out bacteria and pest diseases and insects. If you cut it far enough ahead of time, it makes a skin on all the pieces that you cut. You know, the goal is really to cut, you know, at least a week ahead of time, so you can re-suberize. That's what it's called, suberization, making skin on all those cut pieces. But these have been sitting plenty long. They've been sitting for 4 weeks, so I'm surprised they actually look as good as they do, and they didn't rot at all. It's an 8-row planter, so there's like 8 little mini hoppers all the way across here, and those hoppers, they call these row units. So they have like a feed chain down in here, and there's a little level sensor. And basically, yeah, when it sees that the bowl for the planter of each row gets empty, feeds it a little bit of seed and keeps it right at the level you want, you know, for accuracy and everything. It's kind of all depends on the variety and conditions and everything, but we mess around with that to have it just perfect. There's cups, and as they come around, they pick up the seed. We give them a little shake to singulate and try to just get 1 piece per cup. And then they come around and drop into the ground, and let's look down below and we'll show, you know, just what it looks like as they go into the ground. Down below here, it's pretty simple. There is just a shoe that makes, you know, just makes a furrow. Leaves a little bit of a trench. The seeds tumble into that trench, kind of right in the line where they're supposed to. And then they get covered up by some closing discs. And we shoot for about 4 inches deep is what we want. Because we're gonna come back in with another 4 inches of soil on top with our hillers. For a total of about 8 inches, you know, seeding depth once we come back and hill. So yeah, that's how it works. Now let's go see if it is still working. Okay, we're off. So everything is steering itself. No hands. I don't know what's going on. My screen's kind of going a little wonky on me. It's probably not a good sign. That means there's likely going to be something catastrophic pretty soon. We're going to turn. See something. These tractors are like a bulldozer, so they spin on a dime. They kind of rut stuff up pretty good. While I'm very, very busy, I didn't have time. Try to get him some GPS lines. The one tractor, you can't send them remotely, so we got to put them on a USB stick. It's old-fashioned, old technology, so we gotta walk Paulo through how to get GPS lines off of Operations Center onto this tractor. Okay, so go to Operations Center. Alright, and that's it for this field. We got 2 more passes out there, but we're done back to this little field here. It's about 9:20. Not too bad. Started at 5:30. Should be out of here another, yeah, by 10 we'll be out of here and we'll be moving back to the home farm. This is my bag of Yuppie Delights. My organic kombucha. It's a planting necessity. Standard issue for organic potato farmer. It's good. Yeah, so this farm we're planting right now is actually, I think this has been in our family longer than anything else we farm. My great grandfather, this is where they moved when they moved back from Nebraska in the Dust Bowl. And so my grandfather and all his siblings, they grew up right here, right across the road from where we're planting, and grew up on a dairy farm where we still farm today. I guess the Dust Bowl, what was that, the 30s? They would have moved back to this farm. But yeah, and it's, what do we got? We have about 75 acres that we farm still. The other half we farm as well, but it's not organic yet, and we don't own that part. Yeah, this was all alfalfa and ryegrass hay that we plowed down this spring, and so it's actually in beautiful shape. We can get out and look. So that's an alfalfa root. They're really tough. Like you can't even really break it apart. There's a bunch of nitrogen that acts like fertilizer in the alfalfa. It fixes it out of the air because the air is mostly nitrogen. And so alfalfa with some bacteria in the roots can fix nitrogen out of the air and make it available for your crop, which is one of the beautiful parts about organic that we've kind of gotten away from with synthetic fertilizer, is that you can make your own fertility using different practices rather than just having to buy fertilizer. Yeah, so there's some of the grass that's left. You see it has it's got a really extensive root system. It was really good for the soil while I was here the last few years, but now it's going to be a whole bunch of organic matter. All these roots are carbon and nutrients that have been tied up, and so as they decompose, they're going to leave those nutrients for our crop. This is a perfect setup for organic potatoes. One bin's empty. We're trying to get the planter really empty to put it on our trailer. It's too big to take down the road, so we put it on a trailer. It's pretty sketchy because it's very heavy, and if you have any seed in it, the trailer is really tippy. So we try to get it empty as possible, which means we try to run the seed down as much as possible, which means I need to use the bucket. When everything's going right, it's a really nice job. This is rarely going right, but just sip my beverage, let the tractor steer. Farming's easy. Yeah, Spindrift. Paid for by Spindrift. This advertisement. Every time the planter runs out of seed in a row, it beeps at you. Since none of the sensors are working, that is happening all the time. Got all kinds of stuff. Some rows are overflowing, some rows aren't feeding at all. While I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm probably missing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, other than that, it's going pretty good. At least for plantings. I'm gonna go show you what's happening. Dawson, can you tell them, can you say what you're doing up here?
Currently I'm trying to get all these potatoes from clogging the planter. So far it looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, we're getting there. I think we've got half of the planter at least cleared up. To pull the feet down in because it's on the wet slime. Starting to rot. Pretty strong chance a lot of this seed's not going to make any rot. We're going to have to replant, but I don't know what else to do other than try to plant it and see what happens, so we can replant if it does not come up right. So then this one, he's got fully empty finally, so these sensors are all gummed up with gunk. See how that light turns on and off? So that one's working right now. See, that one's not working either. So it should have a red light. Reset this sensor. Alright, let's try that. Hopefully we got it cleared out enough that we'll be able to just start rolling.
Alright, night shift checking in. Just made our first couple passes, finally got the planer set up. Got everything calibrated, getting one more dump of seed here. Trying to race the rain a little bit, but just got this field to finish tonight. And then we got to pack the planter back up to move over to the next field because this planter is stupid wide and does not fit down this road. So empty it out, load it all back up, move it a quarter mile, back off the trailer, back on the tractor, backfill it up with seed, and then back at it tomorrow morning. Thankfully, I don't think we're going to be out here too late because we finally got the planter cleaned out after last night, which was hell. Should be paying attention and not YouTubing. Thankfully, we're onto good seed, which means I don't have to get out every 20 yards and clean sensors and clean out bowls. And I don't have to have poor Dawson back there with his poking stick, getting blasted by bugs all night, shoving juicy potatoes down into the planter. But we're anywhere from 93 to 99 right now, which means every one of these rows back here has a little sensor in it. So potatoes go into a bowl, which has a sensor, which calls for potatoes once it's empty. Then these little cups scoop up around, grab those potatoes out of that bowl, go up around the top, and then they drop down into a furrow where two discs, closing discs, bury it. So right now, seed looks good. It's a little large, so we're actually planting a little wider spacing right now than we normally would on Atlantics. 11's fairly wide, but if you plant them too close, you end up with smaller potatoes because they're fighting over more nutrients, they're fighting over more sunlight the closer those plants are together. So the wider spacing, you give them a chance to bulk up a little bit more. So last night I got about, 10 acres planted in 7 hours, which is pretty atrocious. Usually we do about 6 acres an hour. Wrapped it up around 3 o'clock this morning. Dom and Steph stayed out with me pretty dang late as well. Dom's a little delirious today. He was running on 22-hour day yesterday. Got up again pretty early and was back at it. He did put the tractor in a ditch in a field today and had to get rescued. Those things happen. Because we're at fairly wide spacing, we're at 11 inches and the seed is pretty good. Accuracy's pretty good. We can actually run a little faster. Normally we're down at 2.3. I'm running 2.5 right now. I was up to 2.7 at one point. It's better to do it right and slow than to have to deal with the humiliation of everyone seeing me plant job during the entire season. And then chance of rain coming in later in the morning. But 4 hours ago it said it was going to rain right now, so can't trust the weather, man.
Can you hear me? Tell me, can you hear me? I've been calling out for help, still don't see nobody near me. I'm down and almost underground and so deep in the valley I can't even tell you which way is the mountain. God, the only word I got, I could probably plant a
Clouds are rolling in. That looks ominous. Weatherman lied again. Oh boy, no, it's a half. Oh! Yeah. Now we got freaking thunderstorms at 10 p.m. Oh my god, if that stopped you from finishing this field, alright, that's got me a little bit nervous. Fun fact, farmers can't turn left because they're so used Dad and their necks cranked backwards like this. Try and get their neck to turn left. Not good. Sunshine and smiles. Whoops. That's not good. We lost the connection already. We're going to get a few more passes in. At the very least, when you don't know what to do, you just keep unplugging stuff and plugging it back in. Might be it. Between the rain and the screen. So without the screen, I can't control my cups, I can't watch my accuracy, I can't see fertilizer turning on and off. It would be blind faith. You know, Xander, this is kind of nice. I feel like I have a friend with me, even though I'm just talking to myself like I normally do. Well, we're gonna loop it back up to the parking lot. This is unfortunate because now this means the other half of this field will most likely need to get dissed again before we can plank to the. These are the situations when you're threading weather windows that can really screw you. If you're not prepared, if you don't have stuff tarped, if your potatoes get wet, potatoes hate being wet. Oh, almost hit that post inside. Yep, we are done. Well, that's gonna be it for tonight.
Alright, so I figured we'd come back and we'd check on all that planting we did, I don't know, about a month ago, and come see how things went, how things are coming up. We've had really wet, rainy conditions after that. A lot of this field was laying in water after we planted it. So kind of mixed bag. Like you can see up there on the hill, some of it's a little patchy, but then some spots it looks pretty decent. So we've got, you know, definitely still a little patchy like we were expecting, but crop's looking pretty nice so far. Is to see, you know, how many plants we're missing. And I mean, we are, you know, we're probably 60% stand here, which is not great. And I think there's still some more coming, so I don't think that's quite everything yet. We'll see some more plants come up. Like there's still some plants just coming. And then, oh, actually, let me go get my shovel. Dig some good ones and dig some bad ones, and then we can kind of see what happened, what was going on. So I think this is pretty predictable. This really nice looking plant that I chose, it was a whole seed piece. So it didn't have any cut edges on it or anything, any places for bacteria to get in. And lo and behold, we got a bunch of stems, healthy looking roots, pretty tall plant, and it's growing fast. This little runt came up with a little rotten end. You see that one? It's all shriveled up. Got some nice goo in it. That one rotted. That just kind of shows you, you know, the importance of a good healthy seed piece. Yeah, now it's on to everything else. We've got to keep the weeds out for the rest of the season. We might have to irrigate, provide some water to keep it growing. Got to manage all of our pests, all the different insects and diseases that want to take our crop. So, yeah, it's just the beginning. We're about, most of the yield is already decided, but we've got 80% of the work left to keep